Our stories are not real and made for entertainment purpose only. Subscribe to my channel for more stories. Now let's begin this one. My wife's cheating was revealed at her charity gala. Then I showed texts that ended her. Under George's peach blossom skies, I built a sanctuary with Claire, my wife of 12 years, our love a beacon for our son, Noah, whose laughter filled our farm. I believed her heart was mine, her charity work a reflection of our shared vows, until her secret whispers with another man shattered my world. At her grand gala, where she stood as a saint, I unveiled her betrayal with a flood of texts, stripping away her lies and reclaiming our family's honor before a stunned crowd. At 40, I, Ethan Walsh, had carved a life in Greenhaven, Georgia, a small town where peach orchards swayed in warm breezes and the hum of cicadas sang of home. My passion was veterinary medicine, my clinic, Walsh Animal Care, a haven for injured strays and farmers' livestock, its walls lined with thank you notes from grateful clients. My wife, Claire, a 38-year-old charity organizer with a poised smile and honey blonde hair, was my partner of 12 years, her elegance lighting our rustic farmhouse. Our son, Noah, aged 9, was our heart, his love for our goats and his crayon drawings of mommy's parties warming our evenings, his muddy boots a fixture by our door. Our marriage was more than a union, it was a legacy. Growing up in Savannah, I'd been a shy kid, finding solace in animals, their trust teaching me care. Meeting Claire at a church fundraiser, her compassion for the homeless won my heart. We settled in Greenhaven, my clinic thriving, her charity, Hope Rising, raising millions for local shelters. Her annual gala, a black tie event at the Greenhaven Manor, was her crown, a night of music, auctions, and toasts that drew donors and dignitaries. I'd planned a surprise for this year's gala, a donation in Claire's name, a nod to Noah's dream of a pet shelter, hoping to see her eyes shine. Claire's co-chair, Greg Thornton, a 35-year-old realtor with a slick charm and tailored suits, was a recent ally. He joined Hope Rising, his fundraising expertise boosting her events. Last spring, Claire suggested Greg handle the gala's logistics, citing his contacts. "He's a game changer, Ethan," she said, her handshake with him warm. I trusted her, sharing our budget, never suspecting Greg's presence would unravel our vows. The gala was weeks away, and I threw myself into preparations, treating Noah's goats and crafting a speech for Claire's surprise. Claire offered to manage invitations, promising a record turnout. "You focus on the animals," she said, her text full of smiles. I agreed, unaware her plans hid a betrayal that would shake our home. The Greenhaven Manor glowed under chandeliers, its marble halls alive with clinking glasses, jazz, and the rustle of gowns, the gala a beacon of charity. My clinic's banner hung proudly, Noah's goat sketches pinned to a donation board. Claire shimmered in an emerald dress, her poise captivating, while Noah, in a tiny suit, handed out programs he'd colored. I wore my best tux, my speech tucked in my jacket, ready to honor Claire before 200 guests, including Ms. Evelyn Carter, a philanthropist whose endorsement could fund Noah's shelter. The gala sparkled, donors bid on art, couples danced, Claire's speech earning applause. Then I noticed her slip away during the auction, her phone buzzing. Left on a table, it lit up with a text from Greg. "Meet me upstairs, love." My heart stopped. I followed, legs heavy, and found them in a quiet alcove, Claire in Greg's arms, their kiss a blade to my chest. I retreated, Noah's voice calling Daddy. Grounding me, but rage burned within. I confronted Claire at home, her tears instant. "It was nothing, Ethan," she sobbed, claiming a moment of weakness. But her laptop, left open, revealed emails to Greg, filled with hearts and plans for a new life. Devastated, I confided in Leela Hayes, a friend and baker who'd seen them kissing at a hotel. Leela's photos and a coworker's tip led me to their texts, accessed by Claire's cloud, mocking my boring vet life. Noah's drawings of mommy's good work broke my heart. Claire's lies threatened our family, and I'd expose her where she reigned. The weeks after were agony, Noah's goat feeding routines my anchor. At home, his questions, "Why's mommy quiet?" cut deep. I shielded him, sending him to Leela's during my planning. Claire acted contrite, her "I love you" texts hollow, unaware I held proof. Leela's photos and the text burned in my mind. Claire's betrayal was a calculated escape, not a lapse. I planned revenge for the gala's climax, where Claire would accept her Hero of Hope award. I formatted her texts as slides, a damning montage, with help from Mr. Sam Ortiz, a tech-savvy teacher. I invited Greg, telling Claire he deserved a special thanks. Leela recorded a statement, her voice steady. I saw them at the hotel. Another friend, Ms. Rosa Chen, a donor, overheard Claire and Greg at a cafe, planning to leave Ethan post-Gala. Rosa's testimony, recorded discreetly, was my backup. I dug deeper, finding Claire's bank transfers to Greg for event costs, draining Hope Rising's funds, my clinic's loans, too. I printed them, notarized by Mr. Alan Pierce, a lawyer friend, as evidence of fraud. Sam's cousin, Mr. Ben Torres, saw them at a bar, Claire's hand on Greg's. Ben's statement, short but sharp, added weight. They laughed about fooling Ethan. Noah's trust in Mommy's party fueled me. One evening, he gave me a clay goat he'd shaped. For your speech, Daddy. I hugged him, vowing to protect his dreams. Claire's affair wasn't just personal, it endangered Noah's future, my clinic's stability, Greenhaven's trust in her charity. The Gala's award ceremony, her moment of glory, was my stage. I emailed Evelyn Carter, confirming my tribute, copying Claire. She texted, teasing, "Don't steal my spotlight, Ethan." Her confidence steeled me. "You'll see," I replied, my voice calm. Over 10 days, Leela and I worked late, my clinic's office a war room of proof, Noah asleep at Leela's. The texts were the core hundreds, raw and cruel, time-stamped over months. I backed them with bank transfers, Leela's photos, and Rose's recording, all notarized. Sam recovered a deleted email from Claire to Greg. "We'll be free after the gala," its tone chilling. Ben's testimony grew stronger. He recalled Greg bragging about taking Claire away. Alan crafted a presentation, slides weaving texts, transfers, and statements into a narrative of deceit. Claire's motives crystallized. She felt stifled in Greenhaven. Greg's urban dreams her ticket out. Her charity was a facade, its funds misused, my loans at risk. I felt a flicker of sorrow, her smile at Noah's birth, but her choice to hurt us erased it. Noah's clay goat stayed in my pocket, a talisman. I learned Greg's role. He targeted Claire, promising fame in Atlanta's charity circuit. The gala's guest list, including Greg's donors, was my audience. Evelyn's presence, a moral arbiter, ensured impact. Noah's innocence drove me. One night, he asked, "Will Mommy's party help the dogs?" I nodded, hiding my pain, vowing to save his shelter dream. The gala's final hour, where Claire would shine, was my moment. I texted her, big surprise coming, her reply a smug, "Can't wait." Her arrogance fueled my resolve. The final hour of Greenhaven's annual charity gala was a radiant symphony of the town's generosity, the grand manor aglow with crystal chandeliers and the soft hum of a jazz quartet fading into the background. Donors in elegant attire mingled, their glasses of Merlot catching the light, the air rich with the scent of wine and the hope of causes funded. Claire's award ceremony was the evening's pinnacle, her hero of hope title drawing cheers as she stood poised on the stage, her emerald dress gleaming, oblivious to the reckoning brewing. My clinic's banner, strung above a modest table of brochures, sagged in the corner, mirroring the ache in my heart. But my resolve was iron, forged in sleepless nights and the sting of betrayal. Leela stood ready by the projector, her tech skills sharp, while Noah, my 6-year-old, was safe at her house, his clay goat a lumpy, hand-painted treasure tucked in my pocket, a shield against the nerves knotting my gut. Alan and Rosa moved through the crowd, their expressions resolute, ready to back me, while Ben and Sam nodded from the sidelines, their quiet support an anchor in the glittering chaos. Claire took the stage, her voice warm and polished, accepting her award with a smile that charmed the room. "This is for Greenhaven's heart," she said, clutching the crystal plaque. Greg clapped from the front row, his tailored suit crisp, his smirk sharp and smug. I stepped forward, my tuxedo damp with sweat, my polished shoes heavy on the hardwood floor. "I have a tribute," I said, my voice cutting through the applause, signaling Sam with a glance. The projector hummed to life, its beam casting a stark glow across the manor's gilded walls. The screen flickered, then steadied, displaying Claire's text to Greg, words of love, her cruel mockery of me, time-stamped over months. Gasps rippled through the crowd, sharp and stunned, as Claire's award slipped from her hands, clattering to the stage. "This is your charity, Claire," I said, my voice steadied despite her choked sobs, her hands clutching her dress. I clicked to the next slide, bank transfers siphoning clinic funds to their private account, followed by Leela's recording, her voice clear. I saw them at the hotel, planning their getaway. Rose's testimony followed, firm and damning. They planned to leave Ethan after the gala. The crowd turned, a tide of shock and anger. Some booed, their voices low and biting, while others glared at Greg, who slunk toward the exit, his polished veneer cracking as donors trailed him, their whispers sharp. Claire's face crumpled, mascara streaking, her stammered defense, "It's a lie. It's fabricated," drowned by murmurs of disbelief. Greenhaven's elite, like Mrs. Harrow, who'd once praised Claire's fundraisers, now turned away, their trust shattered. I pressed on, showing email chains plotting their escape, their betrayal laid bare. Alan stepped forward, his voice commanding as he presented notarized slides, financial records verified, timestamps authenticated. "Ethan's evidence is verified," he said, handing the documents to Evelyn, the gala's organizer. Evelyn's frown deepened, her silver hair catching the light as she fixed her gaze on Claire, who slumped against the stage, her poise shattered, her dress trailing like a broken dream. Evelyn's voice was steel. "Greenhaven values integrity," she said, her eyes never leaving Claire. "This betrayal dishonors us all." Claire's sobs grew quieter, her hands trembling as she clutched the stage's edge. She fled, the crowd parting like a silent jury, her emerald dress a fading glimmer as she vanished through the manor's doors. The room fell still, save for the soft clink of glasses set down. I stood tall, my shoulders squared, Noah's future my true victory. The clinic hour shelter for Greenhaven's vulnerable would survive, its mission intact. The town's applause began slowly, then swelled, a wave of redemption that lifted me. Leela hugged me, her eyes fierce with pride, while Alan and Rosa offered nods of solidarity. Ben and Sam approached, their handshakes firm, their quiet respect a balm. The gala resumed, the jazz quartet striking a mournful note, but for me, the night was transformed. Greenhaven had seen the truth, and in their eyes, I was no longer the betrayed partner, but a father and doctor who'd fought for his son and his town. Noah's clay goat in my pocket felt heavier now, its uneven edges a promise I'd keep. As donors approached, offering words of support and pledges to the clinic, I knew the wound would scar, but it wouldn't define me. My son, my work, my community, they were mine to rebuild, rooted in truth, not deception. I stepped off the stage, the weight of the night lifting, ready to face the dawn with Noah's hand in mine. Claire's world collapsed in Greenhaven's tight-knit embrace, where trust is sacred. Hope rising folded, donors pulling funds, her reputation ashes. Greg vanished to Atlanta, his realty shunned. I filed for divorce, winning custody of Noah, my clinic's profits securing our farm. Claire moved to Macon, rumors of a clerical job trailing her, her apologies in emails I didn't answer. I didn't gloat, her fall wasn't my joy. My joy was Noah, his goats my pride, our farm alive with his sketches. We rebuilt in Greenhaven's warmth. Leela and I hosted a pet adoption fair, kids petting strays, Noah leading his goats in parades, his laughter healing the scars of Claire's betrayal. Rosa joined my clinic's outreach, her trust a foundation. Ben and Sam mentored Noah's 4-H club, their nods a nod to my strength. I funded Noah's shelter with gala donations, inspired by his love of animals, each kennel a step toward our future. The betrayal left a wound. Claire had been my light, her vows a memory of peach-scented nights. Losing that stung, a reminder to guard what mattered. Leela, sensing my quiet moments, pulled me aside one dusk, Noah asleep inside. "You're our anchor, Ethan," she said, her hand on mine. I nodded, grateful for her photos, for Noah's heart, for the town that stood by us. A year later, Claire sent a letter, her handwriting shaky. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I broke us." Noah's lucky. I read it in my clinic, Leela beside me, Noah's latest sketch on my desk. I didn't reply, the pain raw, but I saved it, a reminder that love can falter, but truth endures. One evening, as orchards glowed over Greenhaven, I stood by the farm, Noah's goats bleeding. Leela hugged me, Noah sprinting ahead, chasing fireflies. "You're the best, Daddy," he said, his voice bright. I smiled, my heart full. The gala that crowned Claire became her fall, proof that my love, our legacy was forged in truth, not lies.